Whoopsie. Hello everybody, I am Anon Moose, and welcome back to Pokemon Leafgreen version. In the last episode, we beat Brock and came here to have a training montage, yo! And, whoopsie. And in this episode, we are going to be continuing. But first things first, right off the bat, there's some grass over here, some grass over there, with a couple new Pokemon you can catch, and I figure I should go over them. So, we have Nidoran male and Nidoran female. I consider them somewhat interchangeable, so I decided to just fuse their bios into one. The only difference between them is that Nidoran male is more attack-based, while Nidoran female is more defensive. They're both poison type, both have poison point for their ability, and both have a pretty badass evolution if you use the Moonstone on them. I personally don't use them because I find them to be kind of generic, especially for poison types, but I see nothing wrong with you using them, and they can fulfill any role you want them to fulfill on any team. Next up we have Jigglypuff, decently creative normal type. You all probably know it from the anime. Jigglypuff is alright. It's defensive. A lot of defensive Pokemon in this area. It's Pokemon. More than anything, I just consider Jigglypuff kind of forgettable, especially when it evolves into Wigglytuff, because it's defensive, but its moves aren't great. So that's just my personal opinion. You know, feel free to disagree. I just personally don't care for it. Now I believe our Pokemon are fully healed. Nope, I forgot to heal them after the training montage, so let's do that real quick. Okay. Sure thing. Alright, let's talk to some of the people in here. Okay, set 6 Pokeballs on my belt. Yeah, that'll do it. At most you can have 6 Pokemon with you. What about you? Team Rocket attacks Cerulean. Now a day goes by without Team Rocket being in the news. First mention of them, actually. Sometimes you'll have too many Pokemon with you to add anymore. In that case, you should just store some in the PC. It'll happen automatically. You have no choice in the matter. Hello there, laddie. I have got just a deal for you. I'll let you have a secret Pokemon, a Magikarp, for just 500 Poke. So you'll buy it, am I right? Fine. Paid an outrageous 500 Poke and bought Magikarp. Because that's the price of 2 potions and a Pokeball. And, sure, why not? I'm not going to be using it, so I guess I'll go ahead and give Magikarp a bio while I'm here. Magikarp is famous for being useless. It learns all of, like, 3 moves, one of which does absolutely nothing. Hang on, let's talk to this guy real quick. Well, I don't give refunds. You knew what you were getting. Yeah, that guy sums it up right there. Fish, as I called him. Anyone who reads Mokapon gets it. No Splash. Looks like a decent enough move, I suppose. The user just flops around and splashes without having any effect. Magikarp is useless completely until it reaches level 20, at which point it evolves into Gyarados. Gyarados is a famously reliable, badass water flying type that can learn a lot of dragon type moves. It can serve just about any role you need it to, if you're willing to work with Magikarp. I personally would work with Magikarp to do it, honestly, because I like Magikarp, honestly. Like, look at his face! But that's just my personal opinion. And with that, we are now in Mount Moon, and off to more fucking bios. I'm having a fucking lot of those this episode. Right here, let's have the introduction to my second favorite Pokemon ever, Zubat. Zubat is a flying poison type. Its moves are terrible, its stats are lackluster, and I love him. I love his design, I think he's adorable. Honestly, I would totally use him if I didn't already have a team set up. I guarantee I'll probably end up using him later down the road, though. TM Bullet Seed, first Bullet Seed right there. But Zubat is a fast, reliable one, although I personally would recommend, like, now that, you know, we're later on in, you know, being alive and we know things, I personally would recommend getting Zubat Gen 2 onwards, where he gets his evolution Crobat, because he becomes a lot more useful there. Next up, we have Geodude. Geodude is, as you saw with Brock, defensive, reliable, learns some decent enough moves. Only real complaint I have with him is that he's slow, kind of generic, and has a trade evolution. I can't stand trade evolutions because they require me to socialize and have friends. So I don't care for Geodude, but if you have friends to trade with, he's certainly not a bad choice. Next up, we have Onyx. Onyx is rare, but awesome. However, he cannot evolve in this game unless you trade. And so that's already a bad start. And Steelix, I find, is good, but I personally don't care for him. Honestly, I think Onyx is one of those Pokemon that's a lot of lost potential. I totally would have used him, actually, because I don't care for Steelix all that much, although I used him all the time as a kid. But again, it's just personal preference. I personally don't care for him. And finally, this one's a little rare, but we have Paris. Paris, I think, is an underrated Pokemon. Its typing leaves it with a lot of weaknesses, sure. And sure, it's kind of meh in the moves department and in the stats department. But Parasect, I think, is awesome. Like, if you learn to use its moveset properly, I think Parasect can be a very reliable Pokemon. Again, this is another Pokemon that was going to make my team for this game, but ended up not making the cut for a variety of reasons. But that by no means Parasect is a bad Pokemon. I honestly think Parasect is very usable. I used him a lot as a kid myself. So, don't let the competitive community trick you. Parasect is an awesome Pokemon that I think anyone could stand to use. And I'm actually going to catch one. But for a different reason. They make amazing HM slaves. HM slave. Remember how Brock gave us that Flash move? Flash is a useless move that only is useful outside of battle, but you need it to complete the game, basically. You can do it without it. It's just, like, you know, you don't want it, basically. So with that being said, you know, you might be thinking, well, so what am I to do? Am I to teach useless moves to my Pokemon? That is where HM slaves come in, my friend. Because HM slaves... Oh, Charmander's evolving. HM slaves, can learn those moves, and you never use them. You never use those Pokemon in battle, so they can just get you through the puzzles real quick and be done with it. So very useful indeed for this stage of the game. So if you don't want to use a Parasect on your team, I would at least catch Paris just for that. And with that, Charmander is now Charmeleon. Oh, and if I forgot any of Mount Moon exclusive Pokemon, I'll mention them. I'll make a bio for them off screen. I don't think I'm forgetting anyone, though. Alright, come on, Zubat. God, fuck Zubat. I'm only showing all this on screen because, you know, you need to do all this shit. You don't need to fight these Pokemon, you can run, I need the experience. Although I'll probably start running, because, you know... No, crap, I should have bought Repels. I forgot you could buy them in the last area. I'm stupid, I apologize. Well, there's no point in not fighting him, he's right there. So Charmeleon is our first evolution. Let's take a look at his stats, actually. All 20s and a 30. Yeah, you can see he has quite a buff over our compatriots, because evolving, it's not just levels. Evolving gives you an insane stat boost for free. So I would recommend evolving your Pokemon for that reason. I was mentioning in the last episode that there are advantages to not evolving. It's mostly in the form of being able to use to learn the moves you want earlier, but in this game especially, there's no real sense to that. So, you know, I would recommend just evolve your Pokemon. Friggin' the superior stats, you know, even if it takes longer to learn certain moves, you know, the better stats just friggin' win out every time in my book. You did, Caterpie. You did. I'm not gonna change Pokemon. No sense in that. The others on my team won't be evolving until a much later level, so you know, don't expect evolutions too soon from them. You did, Metapod. Oh, God. I don't know why I'm yawning. Woke up early to start recording, and I just was not ready for that. I've been on New Year's break, letting my freaking recording spree with the Stooges, fill in some of the recording gaps, and just I was not ready to get back into it, man. I mean, I love recording. I just, I don't like waking up for things. I'm a very heavy sleeper. Oh, how can I be so stupid? That person earlier mentioned that you could catch Clefairy in this area. I completely forgot to give Clefairy a bio. I knew I was forgetting someone. So, yeah, that's probably why the bio didn't show up earlier, because I knew I would remember it later. Clefairy is certainly Clefairy. The only notable thing I can think about is that it can use Metronome, but... So, yeah, me personally, I don't think Clefairy's terrible. I just think it's kind of weird. Clefable's cool, though. I like its design. And if I recall correctly, I believe Clefable was actually supposed to be the Pikachu of, Pokemon, before Ash actually got Pikachu. I think it was either Clefairy or Jigglypuff. I think it was Clefairy, though. I think they made it Pikachu because they wanted a more masculine Pokemon, which is stupid. Okay, this guy's probably going to have Magnemite on him, so I'm just going to... Oh, well, shit. Not at all what I was expecting. I'm sorry, Zubat. I won't be catching you this Let's Play. You won't fit into my team roster, trust me. Besides, I want to actually use your evolution if I'm going to be using a Zubat. I'll probably end up using a Zubat in a later game, just not here. Boogity, boogity, boogity! It's way bigger in here than I thought. Yeah, walking in a circle certainly gives you an idea of how big the place is. Oddish! Look at those dead, soulless eyes. It's literally like, what, 2 pixels for its eyes? Maybe 1? I think it's just 1 pixel, honestly. It's hilarious. Bellsprat. I'll just keep using Charmeleon. Don't worry, our other Pokemon will get some action later. It's just, right now Charmeleon can sweep a lot of it. But Charmeleon's going to be useless at the next gym, which is Water types. So, yeah, I might as well level him up while I can, because I ain't going to be... Jesus Christ. Ugh. I don't want Pokemon. I do not want them in a house. I do not want them near a mouse. I know I'm close to leveling up, but I don't feel like fighting a wild Pokemon for it. I didn't even step. I turned my head! I hate this game. I'm kidding. I'm actually probably going to get back into Mountain Blade soon. Although, by the time this video goes up, I'm probably already, reposting Mountain Blade videos. Alright. Now I'm... Oh. Well, I might as well. Thief. Speaking of Thief, we're pulling a big job here. Get lost, kid. This is our first introduction to Team Rocket, the villain team of this generation. Everyone knows them, everyone loves them. Sadly, no Jesse and James in this. Plenty of Meowths, though. I honestly, Team Rocket is probably my second favorite of the villain teams. Not just due to nostalgia, but because I think they're generally the most, interesting. Because, everyone else, wants to destroy the world or toy around with gods. But Team Rocket just wants to steal things and be a criminal syndicate, and I can get down with being a criminal syndicate. No shame in that. Let's give Mankey some action. I don't want Charmeleon getting too overleveled. Of course, Mankey's probably gonna faint and be stupid. Don't be intimidated, you're a monkey and that's a snake! Rock tomb it! Crush it with a rock! Decapitate it with a shovel! Whatever it is horrible people do to snakes. Snakes are awesome, man. Yeah, be slowed down, you fucking snake! You're a snake! Karate chopping snakes is ineffective. Well, how much do you weigh? Jesus Christ, you weigh less than Metapod! That and fighting type is ineffective against poison type, but, because, I don't know. I know it's due to, diseases, nervous systems, and all that, it's just shut up. Alright, Team Rocket Grunt's been defeated. So, you are good. I wonder what's gonna happen to that guy. Well, we are in Mount Moon without a repel. This isn't gonna be fun, to be frank. But you guys don't have to sit through it. I do. And I'll see you guys. If you find a fossil, give it to me in Scram. I'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys then.